Let's see. Looks like we're live. What's going on, everybody? Kyle here, and I am with a good friend of mine, Miss Gogo Bethke. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. How is your day going so far?
I went to bed with the idea, well, 2 a.m., right? But with the idea that I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work out and I'm going to have some coffee and some me time. And then I woke up at 9:08 a.m. and I was like, oh, shoot. So I still worked out, though I did 15 minutes instead of my regular and inhaled my coffee, not so much in comfort, right? I had coffee during workout. And here I am. I made those calls that I had to make, with the banks and the lenders and those important calls, and then the day starts.
I love it. I love it. You've got, we were just talking even before the call, and you've got like the craziest like house going on right now. Like I know you said you got like agents over there, and you're like, your team is just massive. And so first off, real quick, for those that don't know, who you are, share with, my audience a little bit about yourself, and and just take us back, your real estate business, what that looks like. Just give everybody a little glimpse into your life.
Sure. My name is Gogo Bethke. I got licensed in 2011. I'm licensed in the state of Michigan. Originally, if you can hear it from my accent, I am from Romania, but Hungarian by nationality, just to throw another curveball in there. I was a solo agent for a very, very long time. I dabbled into having a small team, mostly because I just needed help, right, with the buyer's agents and stuff. I tried that 3 times, third time's a charm, right? Well, it's the first 2 times. So the very first time I started a small team was at Real Estate One, and I wasn't ready for it, right? I thought I was, but I wasn't. So that fell apart. Then it didn't really fall apart. I took that over to Keller. And then the 2 buyer's agents I had, they left one time on the same day. So, so I went from having a team to not having a team. And but that's okay. You learn and you grow, right? And then you do it better the next time. So I was with Keller for 8 months, and then I switched to EXP. So my anniversary date with EXP is November 1st of 18. So I just had my 3rd-year anniversary. And I do have a small team here now with 6 agents, myself, my husband, my right hand, Christy, and then 6 or 5. So myself, Christy, Dwayne, and then 2 agents, so 5. And the goal of this year to do about 70 deals. I'm never wanting to have a mega icon team, so that's not the deals that we do. They all come organic to us. We don't I teach all of my agents to do organic branding, right? So I did everything that I have today. I did it with the power of social media. So that's what we do. We do not buy leads. We don't. I even had to ask you what was Red X, right? Because I don't
Yep.
do. I don't have a calling stuff. I don't do the ISA stuff. I don't have scripts and role play. My agents don't do that either. We all do it through social media, and no ads either. Right now, everything that we have done by far it's organic. So I think that's it. When I switched to EXP, I knew I wanted to do agent attraction because I knew this company would change my life, and so because whenever you do anything, I guess, on social media, you have to do the good, bad, and the ugly. So I always talk about if something's working, if something's not working, right? And I just knew that if I will love it here, I would talk about it, and that's what happened. So you have to like shoot me to shut me up, right? So everyone that would listen, then this company would change your life. And because of that, I personally brought over 180 agents to the company in my front line and my husband's front line, where I should say we did. And I'll take it. Thank you so much. You're the best.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at that. Man, I need the Gogo Bethke team around me just bringing me coffee and
I
breakfast.
know. They bring me water. They make sure I drink water. They bring me my vitamins to make sure I take them, right? They bring me breakfast. Whatever my little heart desires with the protein shake. So my husband just asked me, he's like, what do you want for breakfast? And I was like, well, I'll just take some fruit, a fruit bowl with some bananas and apples, and I'll take a shake and my water and my vitamins. And he was only thinking, "That's great for you."
I love it. I love
Right?
it.
Something has to give. So if I'm doing these lives and back to back to back all day, every day, then somebody has to make sure I eat.
I love it. I love it. No, that's awesome. And so, yeah, you talked about your front line, but you also, you lead a team, and I guess, your team name is Team Gogo, right? Hashtag Team Gogo. I always see that.
Yeah.
And your total team is what over there it is. Hashtag Team Gogo. And y'all have got, like, you were just telling me how many hundreds of agents now do you have?
Yesterday when I checked, we had 736.
Wow. So that's pretty amazing that you've been able to, grow that. And you said just since basically early in 2018, or when was it in 2018 that you made the move over?
Actually, November.
November. Oh, so late
November.
2018. Geez. So
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
really just in a
It
couple of
doesn't
years.
really count, right? Because by the time I onboarded and figured out the system, it was 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did. I was told, never officially, but I was told that I was the first one to bring 40 agents to the company in less than
Yep.
6 months. So I
Wow.
went, as I like to say, it balls to the walls with it right away. And even today, I'll talk to anybody that would listen.
Yep.
So sometimes some months are, 11, 12 agents join. There are months that 2, 3 agents join, right? But
Hmm.
I minimum I have at least 2, 3 agents every single month that
That's
join.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, now one of the things that I want to dive into first is because you had mentioned it already, a bit about content, because obviously that's what my audience, they really, love. I mean, they see what I'm doing as far as my YouTube content and my blogging content, and so I think a lot of people who follow me, they're also looking to kind of generate content for themselves. And you've done a great job. You'd even mentioned like, you really don't, believe in doing too much in ads and that type of stuff. Organic can certainly be powerful. And the cool thing, the reason why I brought you onto the call is you're doing your content on a whole different platform than when I do. You're doing it on Instagram mostly. Like that's, where I would say that you probably have your biggest following. And so the way that you do content is a lot different, I would say, than the way that I do content. And so, I think there's a large audience out there, even just within my audience, but then definitely like just real estate agents in general who love Instagram. Like they would love to build content and they would love to do it the right way. And quite honestly, like I can't even say like I've got, followers on Instagram, but it's still not something that like, I guess I would say I know a whole lot about. I look at as like, you're like the guru, right? Like, it all. And so I really just want to, understand a little bit about your, processes, but also just, like the different benefits that you've seen building your business the way that you have through Instagram. And so take me back to like when you first got started with Instagram, like why did you go with that? Like why did you even get started there?
Well, it's kind of a funny story because I started on Facebook, and on Facebook, it's where I had my local following with all the buyers and sellers and the future clients, right? The people that hopefully one day buy from me. But I think it was about 5 or 6, 7 years in, and you get to the point where in order to stay and continue to stay in the business and not just like be like I'm freaking out of here, right? I felt like I needed to vent a little bit, right? But I felt like I can't do it on Facebook because all my clients are on Facebook and they need to watch it. So I figured I'll take the party over to Instagram. And so on Instagram, I started to talking to agents of the pain of being a realtor, right? I don't know why I thought my buyers and sellers not going to find me there. They follow me there too. But on so Instagram became more like a communicative way of addressing what it's like to be a realtor, the good, bad, and the ugly, right, of real estate. And so most of the people just automatically became followers of the industry, right, because they understood my pain. They were also realtors, thank you, or they were lenders or things like that. So that's how it started. And then I never do. So when I do content, I don't think ahead. Most people are like pre-scheduled and they know what they're going to post on April 17th and it's pre-scheduled. I don't have that. Mine is designed, but hold on one second. So mine is designed, but not to the point where I know what I'm going to post. I just know that it needs to look a certain way. So if you look at my Instagram very quick, so if you
Here,
look
I'll
at my
pull it up.
Instagram,
Here we
yeah.
go. Let's see.
So it's, I don't know if you can share, if you can see my screen right here, but my light might be reflecting on it. But you see, I have these rows of videos, which are snippets of videos, and then I have something in the middle, and then I have like another video. So it's usually a snippet of video of tips, and then in the middle I have like a picture of something that I want to talk about or promote, and then it's usually an introductory video to an agent or a reel or something that. So it's a little different format. So I do believe that your page needs to be designed, right? So it needs to look a certain way. It needs like you're actually putting some effort into it. But what I'm going to post in that segment, I don't know ahead of time. Right. So, like today, if you can see my next video I need to post is these tips, right? Oh, sorry, it's backwards, like these tips. I didn't actually have a video, so I had to reach out to my team and I said, hey, can you send me another snippet very quick? Right. So they just do it as we go. Right. So I know that's what I need to post today. And then she gets me a snippet of some of the videos. So right now, those snippets come from our team training calls we do for a week. So Tuesdays I do an icon series where I interview our icon agents, and pretty much they open up their book of business and tell our icon or our agents that want to icon how to, right? Wednesdays we do production, Thursdays we do tech Thursday, and Fridays we do agent attraction mastermind. So these snippets come from the videos, the training videos that I do for my team.
Wow. So so you're repurposing a lot of your content because I mean, like you said, you're on training calls with your team, daily almost. It sounds like, and so why have to create more and more content when you're already doing it and you can repurpose some of that content for other purposes. No, makes a lot of sense. And so, but now you'd said something too there that I think is really interesting as far as like having, almost like a plan, like a content posting plan where it's like, there is a rhyme to a method to your madness per se,
Yeah,
to where it's like,
right? Like there's a rhythm, and we're keeping with that
yes,
rhythm, with that
yeah,
design. I don't think it's important. I know it's important that your storefront, I call it your storefront, right? Your storefront, your profile has to look a certain way,
right.
right? So you have to put some effort into it. You can't just throw shit to the wall and hope it sticks, right? You have to like think ahead a little bit and have a design for it. Like I used to do one quote and five posts, and then one quote and five posts, and one quote and five posts, right? Now it's one snippet video, which usually it's a tip, then anything in the middle that's a picture or video or whatever, and then usually another reel or introductory video or something like that. So that's the rhythm now. And I change it up periodically, right? Whatever I feel like. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, I'm going to be doing this, and then I get bored with it and I switch it up to something else.
Gotcha. No, that makes
For
now.
a while.
Gotcha. And so now are you like using any kind of, I know obviously you say some of this stuff. So you have a team, you have people helping you, but also are there some like tools, like what's like the amount of effort you spend on your Instagram versus like, what have you found that you can maybe either outsource it via like getting assistance via a tool that you maybe use or a person, that you might be using for your specific page?
So I'm personally not a very artistic person, so I don't like designing things. Most of my videos are just literally I shoot used to be where I just shoot it in cell phone and post it, right? But now then I have a team, right? And we have Ellen, for example. So if you see anything that's designed, like if it's an invitation to an event, or if you're introducing an agent, or those are kind of designed. That's by our designer, who's a VA from Brazil. And she just got the rhythm of it, right? She's been with us now for 6 months. So we have these reports when she sees an agent going active. She gets their bio, she gets their picture or video, she designs them and then shoots them to me. It's like, oh, we got so-and-so's video or so-and-so's introductory picture. Make sure to introduce them on your page. Now I do the actual introduction. I type it up, right? Or I copy if they sent me their own bio and I type it up. I add my verbiage to it and make the post. So the post I always make myself, but some of the items are designed by others. So for example, if you look at my last 3 posts, so let's just walk to the last 3, right? So if you look at the very first or last, right, the very first video, it's a reel. Literally, I was teaching a cell phone trick because it saves so much time. So that's a reel that I created. It's not overly done. It's like a very simple reel, right? So I did that. The picture in the middle that you have then, like I'm getting out of a car. That one I edited with an app called Darkroom. So I use 2 apps to edit photos. One of them is if it's a close-up, so I need to edit my face. It's called Perfect 365. Since you barely can see my face in this one, I didn't edit that. But I edited with for color purposes. I edited with an app called Darkroom. Now it is important whatever filter you're going to use that you're going to use it for a while. So if you look at someone's profile, right? So if you look at my profile, you're going to see about 15 posts, right? This is my storefront, about 15 posts. So whatever filter you decide to use, you have to use it for at least 15 times, right? Because if not, it's going to look mismatched. And you can't do that. So if you decide to use a filter, just know you're going to be using it for 15 more times, as wide as your screen, or I should say as tall as your screen is, right? If you decide to change it, that's fine. After the 15th photo, you can change it.
That's actually really good. I was dealing with some of that myself and it's kind of where I was like, man, I'm thinking to myself that whatever I come up with that I'm going to use for my filter or whatever, I'm going to have to use that forever, and it's like so like daunting. I'm like, oh, well, but like that might be, it's like a big decision. Whereas I love what you just said where, hey, maybe it's 15 posts and then you can switch it. Yeah, that's
Because I
awesome.
do get bored with it, and so would people, right?
Yep.
So even our Team Gogo brand, for example, you have to have an identity for your brand. We have an identity for Team Gogo. We have an identity for Gogo's real estate team, right? Like one of my VAs just designed an ad for Gogo's real estate team, we're going to start running local ads. We've never done it before. This is the very first one. And he sent over the design, and it's like it's like a green something. I was like, have you ever seen me use the color green? No, right? But they don't understand that because they're not in design. They run ads, right? So he just created the picture for it, and I was like, no, 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 we can't use that. That goes against our brand. So you have to stay strong with your brand, but you can change it up. So right now, this year, our Team Gogo is going to be a blush and a light gray and white and black. So blush, like a blush pinkish color, like my laptop, right? That color, like a champagne color, and then a light gray, and then white and black is going to be our color for this year. So when we're celebrating our agents, we always send mugs and stuff. Christy, can you bring me a mug, please? Is there? Oh yeah, right behind me. Hold on. Yeah. So these are, we celebrate our agents in all kinds of ways, right? If they're top producer, top agent attractor, icon agents, birthdays. When they join us, they get a notebook. If they're ladies, they get white. If they're men, they get black, or it's a dark gray. And then for this one is a top producer. So this one is a top producer, Team Gogo EXP, right? So they get this when they're the top producer of the month because we track everybody's numbers. And then it goes out with a special note from us, right? Congratulations, you're a rock star kind of deal. So last year they were white. This year we are going with that blush pink for the ladies, light gray for the man. So we're going to change that up every year so they don't end up with 10 of these when they're top producers, right? So it changes up a little bit. But you still have to stay with the program and whatever design scheme that you're going to stick with, right? You have to stick with that for the year or for whichever period. In this case, it's a year, but on your feed, you can get away with 15 photos or 15 videos as long as you're using the same filter, because when they're on your screen, that's all they see, right? And then if you change it again for 15 more. So it always looks organized.
No, that makes sense. Now, let me ask you, because I mean, I'm sure especially with some of the agents on your team and whatnot, you probably are, you see a lot of agents doing Instagram, probably some of them doing the wrong way, some doing it the right way. Like, who do you either follow, like people that you look up to as far as like those accounts are definitely doing it right? Like, I actually get inspiration from them. And, and also do you have any agents like that are, putting up pictures? Cause I think a lot of times as agents, we're wondering like, do we put pictures of our listings on there? Like who of a real estate agent would you say is like doing it right? That would be like a good example.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at mine. Have you ever seen me? Have you ever seen my listings, right? No, because I believe so. This is the rule number one when it comes to marketing. It's a really easy way of understanding it. What does Grant Cardone sell?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's trying to get financing for his project, right? So he's,
So he sells financing, he
yep,
sells real estate, and he sells his courses, right?
yep,
And his events. Do you ever see anything but Grant Cardone on his page? Do you see a flyer of his
no,
newest property that he wants you to pitch in on, or do you see a video of him asking you to pitch in?
him,
What about Tony Robbins?
same thing.
What about, you know what I mean? Like I could continue down on the list of people.
Yep.
You always see the people. So we don't, you and me, we don't sell real estate. We sell ourselves and our services. So that's why it's you that's going to be in the photos. I'm not saying don't take an amazing photo of your newest listing in the kitchen, but it's not going to be the kitchen. It's going to be you in the kitchen, right? So it's going to be in 80-90% of your posts, you have to be in it. So video, especially because when you open your mouth and you start talking, that's what makes you an expert, because they hear you. That information comes through your mouth, which makes you smart, makes you an expert, right? So you have to do video. It's not an if or it's a must, right? And then with the pictures, it's the same thing. You just have to be in it because you sell that house. That house doesn't sell itself, right? Why should they choose you versus choosing me? Is the question. So everybody's out there. We're all out there because we want to sell us. So then the consumer can choose us, right? To be the realtor. So that's rule number one. So you have to be in it. So one of the ladies I love to follow is Tatiana Landano. She's in Canada, and she's just amazing. I just love her. I love her personality. I love what she does and how she does it. And she's a feisty little thing, right? Like, she's a great negotiator, a great marketer. She has a large team in, I think she's not in Toronto. She's in, starts with an M, I think. What's another big city?
Montreal.
Montreal, yes. She's in Montreal. So I like following her. There's another girl that I love following just because her style, but she has nothing to do with real estate. Her name is Mariana Hewitt. And I just love her design. She's very simplistic. wish I could get to that design, right? We're not there just yet, but if I could have it my way, I would want something like hers. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually, you probably can't see it, but I'm kind of scrolling through screen share on my channel, so people on YouTube can see these channels that you're or these
Oh, got it. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I don't see it on my end.
so yeah, so they can see them. But yeah, and I'm looking at them too. I'm like, wow, yeah, these are definitely very clean layouts. You can tell they're super professional. They've been thought through. But I definitely love what you just said about 90% should have you in the image, which I think that's such like a different feeling for a lot of people who think like, oh, like I need to show the listing, I need to show, this graphic or something like that. And they almost don't think of even putting stuff of themselves on their own stuff. And so I think that's a big, big mind shift.
Yeah. All of our, same with the agents and same with the leads, all of our leads or deals that we close, right? They all come to us. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, Gogo, we're having a baby. Can you help me sell this house? Oh my gosh, Gogo, I found this house on the market. I love it. Can you help me buy it? Right. So it's that's how it goes down for us.
Yeah. Do you have any tips? Because I mean, maybe, and I'm sure you've dealt with this, you might have some agents that like they want to do well on it, but like maybe they're just like, oh, but I'm nervous to take pictures of myself or to take videos of myself. Like they feel like it's almost like, if they're thinking of like that's like self-centered, or I don't know what they're thinking, but like I get people like that all the time, and I try to explain like that's not it. Like you have to kind of break that habit. But like, what do you say to those
I
type of
mean, I
people?
don't wanna, I don't want to sound rude, but get over yourself because nobody's thinking about you.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I don't care. And even if they do for a split second, right? Like I don't care what they think because their opinion. Here's how I like to say it. I start caring what people think as soon as I can deposit it into my bank account.
I love that. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
funny.
So it doesn't matter what they think, right? But in order for them, for your people to find you, because I don't want to work with somebody who doesn't want to work with me, right? So by allowing people to get to know me, they are like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. She just like me, right? So we have a connection. And from that moment on, we are like glued together. No other realtor can take them away because they are mine, right? We made a connection. And but in order to do that, you do have to put yourself out there. So I call it the shameless self promotion. So let me put it this way: the reason you know of what I do and what I have achieved is because I told you so. I put it out there and I told you day in and day out how cool I am, right? I told you, oh my gosh, look at me. I'm in second place in the Honey Badgers. Oh my gosh, look at me. I sold 35 properties. Oh my gosh, look at me. I did this. Oh my gosh, look at me. I did that. Oh my gosh, look at me. I opened another business. Oh my gosh, look at me. I did this. Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm on a yacht, right? So that the only reason you know that and you know what I achieved is because I took you on the ride, right? And same with real estate. So if you are not on in the business of agent attraction, or if you're not in the business of selling a course, or if you're not in the business of making affiliate income, or if you're not in the business of all of those other businesses, and I do have, like you and me talked about the affiliate income, right? If you're just in the business of selling real estate, you still have to promote yourself, because think of it this way. Imagine the boulevard of realtors. There's 1.4 million of us, by the way, in this country, right? So Mr. and Mrs. Sellers have a shit ton of realtors to choose from. Why should they choose you? If you and me went neck to neck on social media, which by the way, people in average spend 4 hours on social media per day, right? During COVID, they spent over 8 hours on social media platforms per day, right? So if they get to choose between you and me, why should they choose you?
Yeah, well, if you had, the eyeballs, I mean, people should, like a seller should choose the person who can get the most attention on their listing, and if you're the
That's
one that's got all the attention, then obviously they would choose you.
Yeah, and that's your job. So your job is to get the eyeballs to sell their property the fastest possible way for the most amount of money, right? With the least problems along the ride. So for in order to do that, the fastest possible way, right, is exposure. Most people will find, I mean, granted, yeah, they go to the Zillows and all that, but some people, they might not even be on the market for a new home and they just find it just because they follow you, right? And they see it in your stories because you're at an open house, like, oh my gosh, that's a house I drive by every single day, right? So in stories, we do a lot of promotion, right? In our stories, not on our feed, but in our stories. Now, Facebook, this is Instagram. Facebook is totally different because on Facebook, most of my followers are local. So that's where we post our local listings every single day. We do listings, we do So every Monday we do a listing. Every Tuesday we do one of our listings. Every Wednesday we do search for homes. Every Thursday we do open houses in Livingston County. And every Friday we do how much your home is worth. These are KV code links that we can capture their information. So we market to the local people, right? But we are talking on two different platforms. So you have to promote yourself, and then you also have to promote your stuff, right? The stuff that you're actually selling, your properties that you are selling, and you can do that best on your local market. Now, my Instagram is tens and tens of thousands of people, and they are all over the country. So listing a property in Pinkley, Michigan on my Instagram, it wouldn't be beneficial. It would be like, that's kind of weird, right? Like people in LA gonna be like, why is like, I don't care, right? So you have to think about who your audience is and where they are at.
For sure,
So
for sure.
on Instagram, I sell mostly my courses, right? I sell the Team Gogo, the idea that you can partner with me, the things that apply, right? I don't sell a vacant land from Pinkley, Michigan that you can't even find a map on Instagram because it doesn't apply. My ideal client is not in that group, right? So then I take it where they are, which is my local following on Facebook, and that's where they're going to buy or sell a home with us.
Awesome, awesome. Now tell me, and then maybe this has changed too, like over, your existence on Instagram, let's just say, is like, how do you, because I know a lot of people will say like, yes, you posting is important, but also you need to be like participating, in other people's, like showing up on their, commenting, liking. How do you feel about all that? And like, how much did you used to have to do that, back then? How much do you still have to do it today? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop you with the have to because I don't have to do anything. I get to. It's a huge difference, right? So think of it this way: social media is my job. I don't cold call. I don't door knock. I don't buy Zillow leads. I don't farm an area. I don't do open houses. I literally, the list of things I don't do is very, very long. My team, on the other hand, that's different, right? They do all that. But with me, I don't do any of that. What I do is social media. That is my job. But here's the thing: you know what they say? Then you don't work a day in your life when you love what you do. I don't work. I get to do what I love and I get paid for a buku bucks. So if you feel like you have to do it, then probably find yourself another avenue, right? Maybe social media is not for you then, right? Then find yourself another avenue that you would enjoy doing. Not everybody has to do social media. Like I don't cold call just because it works for somebody else, right? I would freaking hate it. I would hate every day and I'd probably leave real estate on day three, right? It's not for me. So if you feel like you have to do social media, which by the way, you do have to do social media. So let me contradict myself in the same sentence, in the same breath. I do believe you have to have a presence on social media, right? But I don't believe that you have to do it to the extent that I do it if you don't enjoy it. Just have a presence where people can hit you up. Maybe you post, once a day and you hire somebody and you make it as much as you can about yourself, but it's not as interactive or as active as mine, right? But maybe then you take the avenue, whatever, paying your bills and you're enjoying. Um, but to go back to your question, um, how did you phrase it?
Like
Like,
how much do you actually go and like participate on other people's stuff? Like are you
yes.
commenting on their
So,
stuff? Are you liking their stuff? Are you showing up in their DMs, messaging? Like do you have to do all that, or do you mostly focus on like your stuff, your channel, your content?
so I would say it's probably a 70-30, where I focus on mine and I respond to people that message me, right? And about 30% of the time, I'll go on theirs and comment and things. But it's not like I have to do that. I do that because I truly follow them. I enjoy them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got a puppy. How cute, right? Or congratulations, you icon, like whatever that thing is, right? But yeah, I think it's important, but it's very simple. Like, what, let me put it this way: what do you do when you go to the bathroom and you spend 15 minutes on
Yeah,
and you sit
exactly.
there,
Yeah,
right?
just yeah,
Don't you have your cell phone, right? Do you ever go in there without your cell phone? No.
never.
You lay there and you scroll, right? And instead of scrolling, how about you actually be a little more conscious? And now every one of you thinks that when I message you from the toilet, and maybe I did. Right? But that's time, right? Like that's time. What do you do when you sit at the doctor's office? What do you do when you have in the morning you have your coffee in hand, right? You're scrolling anyway. Might as well be intentional about it. Right? When you see somebody that you truly enjoy, like comment on theirs, congratulations, happy birthday, oh my gosh, enjoy your vacation. Bring some sun back to me, like whatever that is, right? And then I just get back to my DMs. I try to respond to the comments that they leave on my post, right? You can get back to every single person, but the ones that are like a little bit more funny or something like that, I try to get back to them. So yeah, I think it's very important to be interactive on your page, but it's not a job. It doesn't take more than 10, 15 minutes. So just be more intentional while you're scrolling. It's really that simple.
I love it. All right, so we got about maybe 5 minutes left. I got like two more questions that I want to ask you real quick. So first off, obviously TikTok is getting so more, I would say, talked about, and people are it's definitely the buzz right now in short form video and all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts, as far as like where Instagram stands in that whole deal? Like, have you seen like a decline in Instagram at all since TikTok's been picking up? Is it about the same? Do you just need to like redo kind of a little bit of what you're doing on Instagram? Tell me about that short form video, kind of the rise of it, and then TikTok, and then how Instagram plays into all that.
Yeah, so I actually have an amazing little PDF that I can send you very quick and Reels. We just created it yesterday. So remind me after, and I'll have Mariana email it to you. Maybe you can get it out to your audience. So Reels is this, it's the Instagram's TikTok, right? So if you want to do TikTok, you can do it on Instagram. I just think the audience is a little different, and I think the way you can communicate with your audience is a little different. So I don't know a single person who took. I mean, I know a lot of people who took TikTok and get a huge audience, right? But I don't know a single realtor that took TikTok to the next level where they're actually getting the leads and turning them into a client and closing locally and things like that. It's more, I feel like on TikTok is more for entertainment. It's more for those funny things, or like when you're truly just scrolling and the mindless scroll, right? On Instagram, though, you can do very similar videos like TikTok does. It's called Reel, and you can make it more informative. Like I literally, my very last post, if you go to my Instagram right now, it's a Reel, and it's about how to use shortcuts on your cell phone. Which it saves me a ton of time. And people were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. You just saved me an hour of my life, right? Every single week. So things like that, I think it works better. I think you can communicate better with people on Instagram. You can be more businessy versus fun and dancing, and you know what I mean? That I don't think it necessarily brings you the business. It might bring you the audience on TikTok, but I don't feel like it's bringing you the business, where Instagram can actually result in business. So I don't do TikTok. I do TikTok like videos, which are reels, but I do it on Instagram.
Gotcha. All right. So now last question. So tell me, as far as like 2022, we're just here at the beginning of the year. Are there any like different new things either that you've learned recently, or that like you just want to change up to maybe either try it? Maybe it's not even something that like will work, but like, is there any like goals for this year specific to Instagram that like you're like, man, I really think, I need to do more of this, or I'm going to get into this. Tell me a little bit about your plans for this year on Instagram.
Yeah, so the long length videos, Instagram came out with a video format called IGTV, and you could do long length video vertically up to 10 minutes, or if you had a verified account, you could do it up to like an hour or so, or maybe even more. um, it was good, right? It was a new product for Instagram and they were pushing it. So you got a lot of views, you got a lot of interaction. But we lose people, right? We know people have the attention span of a goldfish, about 3 seconds. And if it's not interested, you lose them. So what happens with the algorithm is if you put a long lengthy video and people don't watch it full through, then the algorithm thinks it's not exciting, right? It's not a good video. And then it just pushes it down and makes your account health worse. So I don't think you can do long length videos anymore. Or the audience is not designed for it, right? People don't have that much time or that much attention. The other one is the interview styles. When you see the two people on the screen, kind of what we are doing right here. Like these videos, if you put the interview styles on Instagram, they just don't do that well. I don't think people are looking for. I think we are informed out out of our minds, right? There's like an information overload, and so I think you have to keep, even if you're relaying that same information, I think it just has to be short, to the point, and in a different format, like a reel, like less than 1 minute. If you have to do more than a minute, right, you can do IGTV style, but try to keep it under 5 minutes. 3, 4, 5 minutes max, and to be able to keep their attention. Because the algorithm doesn't care about how many followers you have. The algorithm cares about the interaction. Do they give you the time of the day? Do they watch the whole video? Do they take the time to like it? Do they take the time to share it? Do they take the time to save it? Do they take the time to comment? Getting emojis on your, like, how people just send 3 emojis and that's their comment, right? That is not a comment in the algorithm's eye. The algorithm wants actual words, so you have to have at least 5 words for the algorithm to think that that's a comment. So people actually have to give you the time of the day, and I think that's way more important. So if you lose them during the video, right, then they're not going to comment. So that's why you have to be quick, straight to the point, make it exciting, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, how cool, thanks for sharing, right? So then they comment.
Awesome. No, that's awesome. So video content though, I mean, that would be where you're saying like, you're going to probably invest more time I mean, you're seeing videos performing very well. They're getting a lot more engagement, short form. I actually did watch that video that you were talking about where you were talking about the, going, having your Zoom shortcut for on your phone. I use that all the time, by the way. So like, if anybody doesn't know that, go over to Gogo's IG and watch her recent video. Cause if you don't know how to do the shortcuts, it'll save you so much time throughout your day. If you're constantly sending like the same thing to different people. Yeah, I've got, my partner links on there. I've got my Zoom links on there. I've got my website links. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I love it.
And I just learned. My husband was saying, "How do you know what those codes are?" I'm like, "Well, it's kind of I just MM for map, PP for partner, GG for my website." So it's like I just do those two letters, and then I know it's like enter, send.
I
Yeah.
love it. So now tell me, what's your goals for this year? Like, like when the end of this year, 2022 rolls around, like what's your focus? Like, what would be a good year in your eyes? Like, what will you hope that GoGo will be at the end of this year?
How much time you got?
Oh, as much time as you've got.
Well, I opened last year. I opened, I think, 5 companies. I have a feeling I'm probably continue doing that this year too. My income wise, my gut feeling says that I'm going to make 8.6 million. So that's my goal for this year. Um, and it feels very easy in my gut feelings. I know we will reach it. Um, the team Gogo organization, I would like to take it to close to 2,000. And I think that's where we're going to end up in the year, close to 2,000 agents. Locally, I want to close about 70 deals, like at minimum of 70 deals. What else we are starting a transaction coordination company. We're starting a VA company, and I'm starting a public speaking company, and there was one more than I just started recently. I can't even think about what it is. And yeah, oh, it's a title company. So just growing those, right? Because these are all totally different parts of real estate. I want to invest this year more. Last year was our very first syndication that we are invested in. So I definitely want to do that. We are moving our family halfway through the country. So we're moving down to Florida from Michigan for the school years and back to Michigan in the summer. I'm going to be traveling once a month at the very minimum. We're doing a lot of like retreat style. So every 2 months I'll have a retreat, and then every in between month we'll have a public speaking event and I need to go to. So just a lot. I mean, my goal was to work less, but here's the problem. I love what I do. So I don't know how to work less, right? And I feel like I have so much energy and so much more content and so much more than I need to give to the world. And this is the time to do it, right? You have to hit the metal while it's hot and while you have the inspiration and you have the energy. And then one day when I'm old and don't have any of that anymore, then I'll retire. But until then, I'll just listen to my gut feeling. I feel like when you tap, I feel like I just tapped into like I understand now how the universe works. Right. And I just act on all of the gut feelings, and I believe that God doesn't give you an idea if you don't have the skills for it. As I like to say it, I don't know if you have the balls for it to take action, but you definitely have the skills, right? So I figured out that I have the skills and the balls, and I take action on all of the ideas that God gives me. So I feel like this is the year of doing just that. So I know what is in the making right now, but what other ideas God is going to give me, I don't know, but I know I'm going to act on it. So who knows what we're going to have by the end of 2022.
I love it. And now for people that want to connect with you, further after this, what's the best way for them to do that?
So it's Gogo Bethke or Gogo's Real Estate everywhere. Now, mind you, I have virtual assistants on every account besides Instagram. So if you want to get me directly, then please message me on Instagram. That's the only one that I check personally. Everywhere else, I have virtual assistants. You still can get to me. It's just going to be a process, right? So thank you so much for having me. If I can help you in any way, find me on Instagram, right? We do have 2 boot camps, so if I may mention that. So Gogo's Bootcamp and social media, and then Gogo's Bootcamp Agent Attraction. The social media, I teach realtors how to build a brand and lead generate with your own brand. That's gogosbootcamp.com. And then the Agent Attraction one, if you want to build a team and become good at attracting them where you don't have to chase them. I never call a single agent. They call me. They show up in my calendar. So that's what I teach. I teach the systems and the mindset and, the whole big picture around that. So that's gogosbootcamp.com/AA if anyone interested.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gogo. I really appreciate your time. And I know you've got a lot going on around you right now. So to be able to carve out a little bit of time to jump on here, that means a lot. And I'm super excited the next time we get to see each other just to be able to catch up. Are you going to Cabo in March?
I have it in the calendar. We were just talking about it because initially we wanted to bring our kids. Um, but I don't think I can now because A, we're moving to Florida, which that's going to be a big hassle, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
then B, it's right in the middle of our school year. So I'm like, I can't take them out for a whole week. So then if Dwayne has to stay, I don't know if I'm going to go.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's in
well,
the plans.
it's in the
I
plans.
think so. Yeah.
We always seem to bump into each other at at the EXP event, so I'm sure I'll see you at some point this year, just not sure when. So, but I look
Yeah. Are
forward
you
to
guys
it.
going?
Yeah, what was that?
Are you guys going?
That's that. It's in our plans. Yeah, my wife and I are gonna go. It'll be good that she gets to come to this one. She doesn't make a lot of the events, but yeah, this year she's planning to be there, so that'll be fun. And then I think then the next EXP shareholders is in Florida, so yeah, I'm sure we'll be at that one too,
Yeah,
most
that's
likely.
never on Father's Day. Yeah. So hopefully I can make it to that one. I'm planning on going to Cabo too. It's just I don't know. We don't
Yeah,
have sitters. It's so
yeah,
hard without. Who am I going to leave the kids with to go outside of the country?
yep.
That's just hard. That's just hard.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, Gogo. And if there's anything I can ever do, just let me know. But I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. And yeah, have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye bye, Gogo.